Right, welcome once again to weekly analysis for today. Today is the 13th of Romans 2025. All right, so we're going to first of all start with the dollar index. But before we actually start with the dollar index, there is something I noticed on Euro USD. I would just want us to go to it quickly so that we'll have an idea of what is actually happening. All right, I think with this, we might have a clue of what to maybe even expect on DXY. All right. So looking at Euro USD, I noticed this yesterday when I was looking at the charts. I noticed that we had a 6-month CRT here where price took the low of this candle, which was created January 2022. And the high has not been taken yet. And that high of that candle is this fair value gap that we have here. And also, we have this invasion fair value gap sitting nicely within that particular area. So, guys, this is an amazing area to expect price reaction from, which means we're definitely going to see price push up into this fair value gap and maybe give us at least a good retracement, because this is a key level that is coming right from the 6 months time frame, right? And this was also a very nice CRT because you can see price reacted up from this other block here and then it pushed back, right? From this particular day, price did not close below. So this was an amazing CRT for us to target. I don't know why I haven't looked at this time frame for quite a long time, but this looks so much good. I mean, seeing all this now, it makes a lot of sense, right? So just maybe limiting our, not going too far, we would expect price reaction from this inversion gap. If I zoom out clearly, you can see how that looks like. Price is left back from a couple of pips to fill that. And this inversion gap here, man, is so, it fits directly into this first fair value gap that we have here. So this is going to be our drawn liquidity this week, this fair value gap. I believe price is going to fill it, and maybe from there we can have a decent pullback, right? So this is our 6 months FVG. Let me lock that. All right, so this is going to be our target for this week. All right, but we are still going to look at the lower time frame to actually see how that looks like. Now, one thing I didn't check was if this actually is the same thing with DXY. So we're going to look at it on DXY and see if we had the same CRT. On DXY looks to be, DXY seems to be stubborn, not to push lower. You can see that we are still far away from the fair value gap on DXY. This is not really good. And you can even see that price actually closed above this guy. It actually closed above here. And but still, this other block is a very good area for price to come down to on DXY as well. So which means if these guys want to drop down to this other block, maybe we're going to be having an SMT here. All right, maybe price will just drop to this other block here, and then from there we want to push higher, and then we'll cause an SMT, because I know for sure that this is going to, we're going to have a reaction from this inversion fair value gap. And if DXY really want to drop down to this area, then we're going to see price come up to this marabou zone at this area. All right, we'll have maybe that final touch from that zone before we push lower. Let's see if that is the same for GBP USD. GBP USD, okay. GBP USD also had its own 6 month CRT, which price took out the lower of that candle, and we still a little bit far from taking the high of the candle. That also makes sense, and I think eventually we're going to come there, right? So let's drop down now to our normal lower time frames, but we've had a clue of where the long-term price action is heading, right? This is still the 4th month. This is the 4th month of 2025, which means maybe the next 2 months, we don't know how this candle is going to close. If it closes heavily bearish, then we'll maybe still expect price now to take the low of the candle, trade into this area before we try to move higher. Maybe that's just what I'm thinking. So let's go straight down to the 1 week, and then we'll see how this area looks like. All right, beautiful. Now on the weekly time frame, we can see that the line where we have our order block in, we also have a weekly order block which is sitting right here. All right, we have a weekly order block around this area, and price just took out this liquidity here. I think we've been pointing at that quite some time now, tapping into this other block this week. So all right, so we have price tapping into this other block at this point after taking our liquidity. So this might mean a little bit of reaction. Price might react from here before maybe it drops lower. But why I would not want to see a very heavy reaction from here is because if you look at Euro USD, it's so close to that 6 months fair value gap, and also which is the high, this particular high here. So I feel like we're going to take that high. All right, we're likely going to be taking out that high, and if we take out the high, we have this other block here that actually aligns with which aligns with this other block right here. So I think that's a good area for us to expect some sales on Euro USD, right? So let's see. Let's go back to DXY. All right, on DXY, we have this other block, like I mentioned, this weekly other block here. Maybe price will want to take this out since we have this is a 6 months other block here. Okay, let me just delete this rectangle. This line here is a 6 months order block, and it aligns with this 1 week order block as well. So which means there's a potential we might want to see price push a little bit lower to that area like that. Maybe now we can have a deeper correction. All right, gonna have a deeper correction. Maybe now to retest this area of support here that got broken. Okay, so let's look at the daily. The daily time frame, beautiful. The daily time frame, we have this area here, which is like a consolidation, right? So we have this like a consolidation. I think I talked about this to one person some time ago that this looks like this is like a market maker sell model where this can be the original or the origin of the consolidation. So which means there's a potential that price will want to take out this liquidity here. I think it's really we have a lot of liquidity under these triple lows here. And if that happens, price will be tapping into that weekly order block where we can maybe bring it down to this as a breaker plus another block here. So that's a good spot for us to expect maybe some pullbacks from. But now on the daily, we have this fair value gap here. Just because price has taken that liquidity or this low right here, which was created 2023, there's a possibility that we can have a pullback like that back to this fair value gap, and from there we'll push down to that other block. From here now we can have maybe a deeper pullback to even take out some internal range liquidity. Okay, but regardless, we will want to watch how Monday plays out. If Monday takes out this candle's low and close back within it, then there's a potential Tuesday, Wednesday will be pushing back higher. But if Monday trades below this candle, close below it, there's a potential we're going to have a retracement just from here. All right. So yeah, I think that's it. Monday will give us an idea of where price will want to pull out to push. Maybe we're pushing back up because if we're taking this low, this is previous weekly low, so it can give us that reaction to pull back to fill this fair value gap here before we continue lower. And which means that at this point, I will not just want to buy until after Monday, right? I will not buy until after Monday unless 4-hour gives us some reasons to actually buy. But as you can see, our 4-hour is still bearish. Price has not even closed above, above this candle, because if it did, that would be like a change of state of delivery from the 4-hour time frame. So 4-hour is still bearish. Price actually took out the high of that candle, which can end up also as a CRT, which means Monday might want to take out the low of this before it pushes back higher. We have lots of inefficiencies from this pain. So what I'm expecting, or what I'll be expecting, is price trade. Maybe take out the low of previous week, trade back into this fair value gap. We test that breaker, and then we push back down to that other block, and from there we can get a buy that can swing for a couple of weeks or two, one, I don't know. So, but we'll see what happens with time. So this is my idea on DXY. We're going to still stay flexible because Monday can totally change whatever we are trying to say here, right? Sometimes Monday can open and it'll be so crazy that you will not, you will have to reanalyze what you were analyzing before. So we have this other block which aligns within that 6 months fair value gap. So that's a good spot for us to maybe expect some movement. And this high of the 6 months is like an inducement to that other block too, right? So it's a good spot. That is why I was saying maybe on Euro USD, I would love to see price take our previous weekly high, and in that case, price will be tapping into that other block, and we'll see how the candle closes. If it closes somehow, then we having maybe a CRT, right? You have good. There's one thing about CRTs. You have good CRTs don't happen within the range. It happens at range highs or lows, right? Let's say, for example, you have a price leg like this, where you have good CRTs will be at this point. All right, extreme highs and lows like that. If price comes here, there is a potential that you're going to have a CRT around that area. If it trades back lower and it wants to reverse, there's a potential you can have a good CRT. But within structure like that, it's a little bit always difficult. Or within this structure, there is a different type of CRT to expect. I won't be talking about it today. All right, but just for this, I would love to see previous weekly high taken out into that other block. From there, we can expect lower prices. Also, maybe if the weekly, let's say Monday, just straight into that fair value gap and then trades back and close within. That's a daily confirmation for this CRT, and we might really want to see lower prices from there. All right, so yeah, I think this makes sense. Price trades into this, and then from there we pull back. I don't know. We have not confirmed this to be a CRT. The next candle that will open and close here will give us an idea. All right. So daily time frame. All right. So on the daily, that area still looks good. Still looks good. And guys, take note. There is something that was spotted on DXY, which was like triple highs and lows. Remember that area, right? So we'll have to watch out for it. I have to also watch out for that. All right. So I don't know if it's me. I can't see anything. Can't see anything. Please, are you guys getting me or not? Somebody's saying that you can't get me. Thomas, is my voice clear? Please type 1 if you're getting me. All right. Maybe Thomas, you can exit and rejoin. We can. Can we go to 15 minutes of EU? No, we don't. I will not be doing that. That's too much. Going down to the lower time frame, you should be the one doing it, maybe to refine your entries and stuff like that. For now, what you want to get is the overall direction of where the market is going. The list is 4 hour. Okay. The list is 4 hour because tomorrow you will want to see how price will play out before you can be able to determine your entry and all that. Okay. So 4 hour, we are still bullish. Price still closing above highs. We're still bullish. I think I sent a setup like this saying that this could be a potential CRT, but you can see how price close above. This invalidates that candle already. So we have this next 4 hour candle with couple of with about 3 inside bars. So we want to see a breakout of it, maybe to the upside, and then yeah, from there we'll see how it closes. And if it gives us a good correction, then this is going to be a market maker sell model. This can be our original consolidation. Second, and then we can have a smart money reversal around this area, and then we can target that like that. Yeah. All right. So that's for Euro USD. Let's go to GU. GU these days was GU these days was behaving somehow. You know, last week it dropped so much after tapping into this fair value gap here, which was also an inversion gap. This one, we had the weekly candle drop so much back down to this fair value gap here because I think before then, Euro USD had filled this fair value gap, and Euro USD was GU was playing so hard, like it did not want to feel it. But eventually it dropped so much, and then because of that, we had lots of SMT. We had an SMT, which on the daily it's very clear. All right, you can see that Euro USD did not take out its own low. This low, this is the same low on Euro USD. We can see that this guy took out the low, and then on Euro USD we did not. And even on DXY, this is the same, and then this is the same. DXY did not take out this high, so that was the SMT that we had on the Euro on GU. Okay, and this SMT was simply telling us that Euro USD is going to be leading the way to the upside, because that type of SMT shows more strength for Euro USD. Let's look at this now on the weekly. Remember, Euro USD is already somewhere above this guy, right? So there's still a possibility we're going to have this guy push up maybe to this other block and more. Remember, this is also the 6-month CRT on GU, and we have straight line liquidity. I don't know. We are still bullish on this guy for now. So more higher prices, as you can see from here, we're having internal range liquidity back to external. So this previous weekly high, which was created on the 31st of March, that will be our target, and then we might want to see how price reacts from here. At the end of the day, we might be having some kind of an SMT, because we notice that this same high, all right, take note, this same high on GBP USD, this is the same high on Euro USD, and consider Euro USD has taken the high already, and the Euro GBP USD is still to do same. So we're going to watch how this plays around. If Euro USD is also already giving us a confirmation sell on its own key level, and GU is still to take out this high, therefore we might be having an SMT from there, and that will mean more deeper, more lower prices for GU, right? So daily time frame on GBP USD, as we're expecting more buyers, we have this fair value gap here. We have this inversion gap, so there's a possibility that we can have price tip into this fair value gap like that, and then we continue higher from there. All right, that's for GU, Euro USD, and DXY. So let's move straight to gold, and after gold, we're going to see what is happening on the other assets. All right, gold here was one of the most profitable entry models that we had here, all right, on the weekly time frame. And this was so crazy that unfortunately I didn't participate on all these moves. I don't know why. I wasn't just into gold when all this was happening. 3 straight bullish days, pushing higher into 3,238. So what is going to be our next target for gold? Let's look at it on the weekly view. All right, you can see how the weekly candle closed. There are no signs for any reversal, but we are trading way above the all-time high on gold. Like we've been expanding. I know a lot of people that have been shorting gold, expecting lower prices, and so gold is just pushing higher. Maybe we can be heading to 4,000 on gold. Who knows? There's still a possibility. 4,000. We have another key level like 3,500, 3,500 around that. We also have 3,400 around this area. All right, so well, to expect if you were somebody that want to short gold, you might 3,300 this year. You might be waiting for this for institutional numbers to maybe see if you can get some entries from there to short. All right, but for now, everything here is looking bullish. You can see how price respected that other block, which aligned with this fair value gap, and how massively we closed bullish, right? So we can maybe have a pullback to retest this other block also, and then we continue higher. Or still, this candle also might become our future CRT if price, by taking the high of the candle, trade somehow and then we close back within on the weekly. Take note, all right? Don't just start trading it and say, I say this is CRT and so on. If this next candle opens like that and trades higher, maybe let's say trades into 3,400 and comes back to close like this. Right now, there's a potential that the next candle here will be coming back down for the low of this candle and probably even taking out this low. All right. Just know that as we're moving higher, there's a possibility for a massive drop if it wants to happen. But then you need confirmations. All right. So that will happen maybe if price hits a good key level before we expect something like that. Okay. So I don't have any major things to say on gold because we are far above old price. So all we can do is look at institutional numbers and expect some corrections from. It's just like this one. This one was happening around 3,100. This was an institutional level of 3,100. This one, and then I mean the week closed so heavily bullish, but we still have this fair value gaps here. The price might push back to retest, also retesting this breaker, and also, we have this candle, this no wick candle, which is also a very good candle that has lots of liquidity in it. So we can have something like this week. Price takes this high, comes back, take that low before we continue higher. All right, mainly because of this candle, which has no wick. All right, that's for gold. I would love to see previous weekly high taken out. That's those that were already struggling to sell and price did not allow them to close even in small profits. Maybe now the market will frustrate them. There may be a spike up and then we come back for this low and maybe we'll continue higher. All right, something like that. But remember, if you want to sell, you will really need proper confirmations before you go short. Okay. For now, everything is still bullish. We don't have any reason to sell, especially starting from 4 hours upwards. Okay, let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is currently trading at 83,930. So let's see what is happening here. Let's go to the weekly time frame. All right, I think Bitcoin is we are gaining back some strength after we took out this low. Unfortunately, still, we haven't closed below this candle, which I think we said some time ago that it could become a CRT. We haven't closed below it, and this candle is doing well as well. So, are we looking at this candle's high? Okay, if we try to close above this high, then we are going back to the all-time high on gold. Okay, if we manage to close above this high, probably next week, then we'll be coming back to this high. But then I was actually expecting price to drop down to this area, but you can see how the weekly candle is closing. Let's look at the daily. All right, so you can see the high I'm spotting, which is the swing high that created this swing low right here. So that's where my focus is. If we're taking that high, then we are having a shift in market structure and the market will want to push higher, something like that. Okay, so but for now, I think we are in a state where we don't really want to say we are bearish again. Price respected this other block, created another mitigation. For now, we seem to be bullish on gold, on Bitcoin. Seem to be bullish on Bitcoin. All right, maybe all this trend line liquidity now, it's time for price to clear it out. Beautiful. There's a beautiful trend line liquidity here. If we manage to close above that trend line liquidity by breaking that higher pointed on the weekly time frame, then we are coming back for this high. All right, so to buy, you will have to wait to see how price plays around with that trend line liquidity. For sellers, the market is now still mainly for sellers because buyers have not have a proper confirmation yet. Because maybe the market was just coming back to retest this rejection block here and then continue lower. So you have to be patient. All right. If you want to buy gold, you be patient. If you're selling, you can be looking for your sell opportunities. But the moment we close above this trend line, you have to quit selling. All right. So that's Bitcoin. Let's quickly go to GBP, GPY. Is that the pair we're supposed to check? Let's go to US 100 first. All right, US 100, this pair, it played out so much nice. I mean, really, really nice last week. Just exactly as we discussed on the weekly analysis, where I remember I said price had to take out this low and tapping into this other block. I mean, this was so precise, and you can see how heavy the weekly candle pushed up. And even from the daily time frame, it was so clean. And even on the 4 hour, so much nice. There was so much good setups to look out for and see if price reacted from that other block. Yeah, was another model one entry from there, and then it pushed higher. So what do we expect now? That is the question. Let's go back to the daily. All right, so on the daily time frame, we've taken all that liquidity. There's a possibility we'll be coming back for the highs because I already see a shift in market structure here. But let's look at it on the, let's look at the monthly chart. Maybe we have nothing precisely. Let's see, maybe 2 weeks time frame. All right, so on the 2 weeks time frame, we have a fair value gap, which is the high of this candle, which is kind of like a hidden fair value gap. So there's a potential price we want to go up. Let's see where that high is. Okay, good. So this is the high right here, and above it we have this other block. So I think it's a good spot to push up to. Maybe we'll have a pullback from there before we continue higher. All right, so that is for US 100. We are still bullish. Okay, maybe the market want to take out this low before pushing higher. Let's see how it looks like on the 4 hour. All right, so on the 4 hour time frame, if we take out this low, because I guess some people started buying early, maybe we'll take out that low to form the low of the week, tapping into this inversion gap. From there, we can continue higher, something like that. Okay, that's US 100. Let's see GBP, JPY. GBP, JPY. JPY. Let's see XM. All right, GBP JPY will still playing around as we discussed last week. Price bottom from that area we spotted, which was this other block, and we are still around the same zone. I think this was a good confirmation. So I still expect higher prices to come take this high, and this is our CRT right here. So if you remember what I just explained about CRT, you having CRTs on range highs and lows, then this is one example here, and I think we are more than 80% sure that price will be coming back to this fair value gap and even more based on the scale level and so on. All right, so this is our other block, price close above it. So all you can do on GBP, GPY now is maybe look for an entry. Let's even see if I can get one. All right, so price already came down to this other block. This was already an example, an entry. So for now, we have this fair value gap here. I want to get in, price feel that, or maybe can still want to manipulate this low before going higher. That's maybe creating the low of the day, the low of the week around that area before we move higher. USD JPY, USD JPY, USD JPY is playing around. Let's see, daily. All right, so USD JPY, we're still around this other block area. We haven't invalidated the other block, but it doesn't really look good to me right now. Okay. Let's see 2 weeks. Okay. All right, good. On the 2 weeks time frame, we have this to be our rejection block, all right? So price traded down to the rejection block. Maybe from here now we can have maybe a pullback. Let's go to the weekly time frame. All right, so that's our rejection block. We have this volume gap here, and we also have this fair value gap right here. So also there's one thing here. You notice that this particular high failed to take out this one. So this swing low like this is not, though it took out this low, price might really want to play around here to gather more momentum before going back to take that high. If this swing low could have taken this high, this would be a very nice order block. But the fact that it did not, and which means this key level is kind of really strong to push price back lower like this, we really want to wait for proper confirmations before expecting price to move back up to take that all-time high. All right, so that's USD JPY. I don't know which pair haven't I checked yet. Someone say Euro GBP. Euro GBP, which I said is the FTMO. All right, Euro GBP. I think, I think we talked about this pair last week, and it's playing out so nicely. I don't know. This was a fair value gap I spotted somewhere. I don't know. Was it a monthly time frame? I remember I talked about this fair value gap, saying that it's like a hidden fair value gap or something. I don't know which time frame I saw that fair value gap in. Okay. It wasn't actually a fair value gap, but it was this area of a breaker which this guy did not mitigate, and I said that would be a good area for price to come back to. So this week, heavily bullish price action from this internal range liquidity fair value gap all the way. This was one. This was Thursday, Friday. Okay, it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So right now on the Euro GBP, let's see from the monthly perspective where price might be heading to. Okay. If you look close like this, you can see that we are still in a heavy bullish market, but though we are trapped in a monthly consolidation here, right? Monthly is actually in a heavy consolidation, and we are approaching the 50% of that range. So also, this was like a trend line liquidity here that got broken. If you look at it carefully on the daily time frame, that was a trend line there that got broken, which means there's a possibility that will be coming back for that high, the high of the trend line. All right. So at this point, we have this other block here, which we can have price push back to and continue high. Now, Euro GBP, and there is a correlation between Euro GBP, Euro USD, and GBP USD. Okay, that's your assignment. You can go and check it out. When Euro USD and GBP USD, there's a way that when they move, it gives more. That is, it gives more preference to Euro GBP. It's just that I don't like the pair. All right, but when there comes a time where Euro and GBP/USD they are not moving in a particular way, you have an advantage to trade the Euro GBP. Okay, that's just a tip for you. You can go and do research on that, and maybe you compare the three assets. You're going to notice what I'm saying. I think that's we have looked at GBP JPY. We have looked at Bitcoin. GBP Australian, I think that will be the last pair that we'll be looking at. GBP AUD. GBP AUD, we are selling. All right, GBP Australian dollar, this. We had a spike into this area here. This is, there's someone that talks about this particular candle formations here. So we're having a good reaction from that area, monthly time frame. We have this other block here. And there's a small fair value gap there too. So this might be interesting. You can see price back down to that area. And it makes sense that the daily is actually reversing. And this is a CRT on the daily. So you see targeting the CRT low. price that already filled this fair value gap closing below will definitely be taking out these lows right down here. Okay, so GBP AUD, we are bearish. All right, guys, I think that's it for today. I've looked at lots of pairs. My voice is even running low already. All right, so that should be it for today. I hope that you've learned something, one or two. Remember, guys, it's our analysis is simply just maybe to tell us that this is what is likely going to happen. But for you to make money from this analysis is to put in put everything together, starting from your risk management, your psychology, and so on. You might be right with your analysis, but your risk management is going to ruin everything. Your psychology will ruin everything. You'll be maybe scared to enter the trade, FOMO, and all those things. At the end of the day, your analysis will be good, but you will not end up participating or exploiting the trade to its fullest. So make sure that your risk management is on check. Make sure that your psychology is there. If you're feeling depressed or you're going through some stuff emotionally, you can avoid the markets for the moment. Balance of yourself before you come back. All right, the market will not go anywhere. But when you approach it with the wrong mind or with the wrong psychology, it's going to even hurt you the more. So pay attention to your risk management. All right, it's all about probability. All that we have discussed here, maybe by the end of the week, we'll discover that price went totally different from what we have discussed. No, but it's not a problem. That's what happens. It happens all the time. All you have to do, or what I'm making you to understand, is that this we are simply doing speculation, or this is about probabilities, which means all that I've been saying is not 100% guaranteed. So don't take my word for it and go, you risk all your entire account in the trade and they end up hitting your stop loss and you come to winning low. This is just mere analysis. It is not a signal. No, it's not. I'm not offering. These are not signals that I'm giving you out. All right. I'm just showing you my view on this particular asset. So take responsibility of your trades. Make sure you use proper